My name is Brenna Holeman. I'm from Canada originally. Sorry, Dan, you can see that's literally all you're gonna get out of. They prepared it, so thank you very much. Just from some of my travels. So I went traveling in 2006. Actually, yesterday was my 11-year anniversary of leaving Canada permanently. Well, I thought it was only for 3 months to go backpacking, and then it just turned into a lifestyle and a career. So I've been traveling on my own for 11 years. I'm now based in London, but still I focus on solo female travel, which is a big niche right now. But I actually am quite in an interesting position because I started blogging in 2003. Blogging actually did exist then, back when MySpace was really popular. I didn't have MySpace. I was one step cooler. I had LiveJournal, if anybody remembers LiveJournal, which was a very interesting platform. And it was very much about community, very much about sharing. So I started writing, I will admit in public, it's okay, my first name was Boogie Two Shoes on LiveJournal, don't ask. And I just love to write about things that were going on in university in Canada. And then I went traveling and I started writing about traveling. And a funny thing started happening because people started to respond and people started finding, even this stupid little LiveJournal, people started finding it and writing it. And I was writing like 500 words in a block text, no photos, right? Like just how far it's come, like what Mac has talked about, how far it's come in the past 14 years is unbelievable. But I just kind of kept doing it and loved it and just thought it was a great hobby. Then over the years, thought, okay, I really like writing. Okay, I'll do a master's in writing. Okay, I kind of like this. Oh, okay, I think I'm a travel blogger. And I'd switched to turning into this. And all of a sudden, I was taking this audience with me and people were coming and following along through these years. And now, that little LiveJournal, now it's a blog. And this year, I'm going to have 1 million page views on that blog of people reading it, right? So it's so fascinating to me how this has happened and how it's this huge business and how this is now my career. I work a little bit differently than Maka. I do some brand campaigns, but I actually love to do exactly what I'm doing right now, and that's to talk about the other side because I work for Expedia as well. So I'm a blogger half the time, well, all the time. Let's be real, I'm always doing this, and it is the hardest job I've ever had, but the best job I've ever had. But I also work 2 days a week for Expedia doing influencer marketing for them. I used to be full-time for them, gone down to part-time. So what I do is I help them, I help the SEO and the PR find the best people to work with. Because here's the thing, Mac has already proved to you why you should work with influencers. I'm not gonna do any more of that. You know that you should work with us, clearly. I'm gonna tell you how difficult it can be. I don't want to be like the dark rain cloud coming into the room, but really you have to really think about this and plan this well, because as everyone mentioned, there are a lot of things that you have to navigate and think about when you go to work with influencers. Mac is an amazing blogger and videographer. He has, the stats to back him up. He has the images. You can just see the images. They're amazing. But because this is such now an interesting, exciting, and lucrative industry, so many people want to get into it. And the scary thing is how easy it is to fake it. It's actually really terrifying, especially for people like Maka and I who've been around for a long time, that all of a sudden there are people who started 6 months ago and now they're getting all the campaigns and they're getting everything because what have they done? They've cut a lot of corners, or they've, as was mentioned, they've bought followers, things like that. So it's really difficult, and what I would say is absolutely work with influencers, but please know who you're working with and do a little bit of research. Some things that I do when I'm looking into people is I kind of stalk them. Like, I know that's kind of an illegal term, but really, I stalk them. I really look at what they're doing. I follow them daily. I look at who's commenting on their posts. I look at who's commenting on their Instagram. I see what's going on. I use tools online. So one of the tools that I use online, which is, honestly, this is my favorite thing ever. I was just talking about it with a few people, Social Blade. If you haven't heard of Social Blade, this is amazing. So Social Blade, like a knife. And it's incredible because it will show you all the detailed stats. It will show you what that person is doing daily on their social media. It will tell you things like how many people they followed in a day and how many people they unfollowed in a day. So for example, if I'm looking at an influencer and I'm thinking, oh wow, this person has a huge Instagram following, but then I go to Social Blade and I see, but wait a second, they're following 800 people per day and then unfollowing those same 800 the next day. That seems a bit weird. That seems like they're cutting corners to me. Do I want to work with somebody who's doing that, who's buying followers, or do I want to work with somebody who has more of the I don't know, a little bit more legitimate, who's actually worked really hard. People are following them because they take great photos. So Social Blade is one that I love to use. SimilarWeb is one where you can check blog stats. It's not always 100% because I know I've checked my own blog and I was like, what? No, I get I get more on that, but it is something to think about. But really, it's about knowing the influencers, knowing the people, looking at the other campaigns. So take a look. Most people will say, I'm sure, Maka, you say on your website some of the campaigns that you've worked with, or for me, I'll say on my blog, I'll say, oh, I've worked with, Visit Denmark and this hotel and these people. So look at what they've done in the past and really kind of do your investigative work. This is such an amazing industry, and I absolutely love it. And I think what's so exciting about it is that it changes daily. But that can also be a challenge, of course, that we always have to stay on top of things. For me, I've been in this industry for 14 years, and every day I keep reading, I keep coming to talks like this, I keep doing it, because it is such a fast-paced, fast-moving industry that it can feel very overwhelming sometimes. But really, it's just about stepping back a bit, taking a look at what people are doing, taking a look at those influencers and making sure that they seem like legitimate. I always look at who's commenting on the blog. If you have apparently a huge blogger and they get 0 blog comments, what's going on there? Because blog comments are still one of the only things that you cannot fake. Thank God. There's still one thing, but that's always really interesting to me that I take a look at. On Expedia's side, what we do, so we work in a variety of ways with people, and really we just want to work with people who produce great quality, great content. So it doesn't matter, as Maka was saying, maybe somebody does have 1 million page views, or YouTube views, or they have millions of Instagram followers, but we want to look and see who's producing the best content and who's their audience. Because exactly as Maka said about the age, I don't want to sound too ageist, but if you are a luxury hotel, does it make sense to hire a 19-year-old Instagrammer to come and maybe look really good in a bikini by the pool, of course, and she has 3 million followers, and I don't want to knock that person, but who's her following? Are those people going to then be booking your luxury hotel, or does it make a lot more sense to work with somebody who's, let's say, 45, and their audience is similar, and you know that maybe they only have 10,000 followers, but their audience are going to be the people who are then going and booking that hotel? I don't know. Anything else I should talk about? I didn't prepare any slides, but I know. So Maka talked about his different campaigns that he's worked on, and I think it's been really interesting to me to see the campaigns I've worked on and who I've worked with and how they are willing to work with influencers. And I think what's also really exciting is how many people do want to work with influencers and that they see the value. Because as was discussed about celebrities, while these celebrities are these huge people, and who knows exactly what we said, if people are going to trust that celebrity. Whereas for me, I've had some amazing experiences as an influencer and done some incredible things around the world. And I know this sounds really, really cheesy, but one of the best and most memorable things for me are the emails and the comments that I get from readers and from people who say, wow, this was so cool. Like, I went into this too. Thank you so much for doing that. And I'm not sure, I respond to every single comment and every single email. And I'm not sure if you can get that with a huge celebrity. So I think that's been really amazing for me with influencer marketing, just that you can really speak to the people one-on-one. And I love doing that. I love working with brands, with companies, and being that connection and being that voice and saying, you know what, I know exactly how to promote this because I know my audience like the back of my hand. They've been with me for 14 years. I know them really well. And I think that that's probably the key thing from working with influencers.